Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Craig. My guest today is Mike Shapiro. Welcome.
Hi, nice to be here.
Nice to be here. Nice to have you here. You are a magazine cartoonist, and you're also a caricature artist on the side. You did my caricature years ago. Thank you, and I loved it.
Great.
What is a magazine cartoonist?
Well, basically, it's just what it sounds like. I do cartoons for magazines, kind of the square, one-line, one-line single caption cartoons that you see in magazines.
Great. And where can we find your work?
I'm published in the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, Harvard Business Review, and I just got a new gig doing cartoons for the new Washington Post publication, which is called Capital Business, and they feature one of my cartoons in each of their publications.
That's great. So people here can check them out in D.C. and
Absolutely.
other people can check them out in different places.
Right.
And how long have you been doing this?
22 years.
Wow, that's great. How did you learn?
I was always drawing and writing as a kid, and
you were always making cartoons?
Always making cartoons. I was always interested in them, and I always felt I could do it. And when I went to college, I did them for the school newspaper. I did that for a couple of years, and then I dropped out of college, and I wanted to figure out how to be more professional about it. And I worked for a newspaper for a while in the art department. Then I went back to school to study animation, and I worked in animation a little while, for about a couple of years after I graduated. And then I gradually started getting my own stuff published and started working for myself.
Great. And how has your stuff changed over the years?
You know, it's pretty consistent. I think that the drawings have become more professional, a little bit slicker, and along with the writing too. But basically, the style is pretty much the same.
Great. Well, Mike, let's take a look. With the magic of our TV world, what are we looking at? I like the figures.
Oh, thanks. That's a cartoon that was in the Harvard Business Review a couple of years ago, and it's pretty typical of the type of stuff I do.
Excellent. And do you do work in color too?
I do. I do stuff in black and white with a wash, which is the gray look that cartoon had, and in color.
And look, there's some color right now.
Yes, that was in Barron's, and yeah, that has some color too. And it's a typical boardroom scene. I do a lot of those basic business cartoons.
And do you have a website?
I do. It's MikeShapiroCartoons.com.
Let's give that out one more time as the next picture comes up.
It's MikeShapiroCartoons.com, and this one was in Barron's. And I do a lot of these interview type settings, and that's one of those.
And I believe there's one more.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
That is one of the new ones from Capital Business, the Washington Post publication I was just talking about. And that's one of those. It's from last week, I think.
Are those feet over there at the end of the table? I couldn't see that.
No. If it comes back on the screen, I can tell you. Definitely weren't feet, no. It was a bar. So, you know.
Well, they look great, and I know you do great work. And you also, on the side, you do these caricatures. And right now, you told me earlier that this is your busy season. I didn't realize that you guys have seasons.
Yeah, June is pretty busy. We do caricatures at live events, and there are a lot of after-hour high school graduation parties that start at like midnight and go to 5 in the morning. So we're real busy this time of year.
Great. Oh, look, there's one more.
Yeah, that's a sample of the type of live caricatures that I do.
Oh, that's like this one that you did over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Same type of stuff.
That is great. And when you started drawing these cartoons, what did your parents think? That you were doodling all the time? Did they think, oh, you should study something more serious?
They were really supportive. My father always liked cartoons and comic books, and they were just great about it. They were really supportive, and I think that they realized that if I was interested in it, you know, that I would have a reasonable shot at being successful. So they were great parents in that regard.
Oh, that sounds like they were great parents.
Yes.
And if people out there want to learn how to do what you do, can you tell them a little bit about what they should do to have a career like that?
Well, if you want to write cartoons, the first thing you have to do is read a lot. That's critical. And in terms
do you read a lot about everything?
Yeah, you got to read a little bit of everything. I read the paper a lot, you know, the news, a lot of media. Just the more you read, the better. And in terms of drawing, you just have to draw a lot. If you can get an education and learn formal drawing, that's helpful. But the best way to go about it is just to draw a lot.
And how about the computer? Does that help you a lot?
Yeah, it does. Now you can work for anybody, anywhere in the world, really, and you can get them work instantly. You can just just send them an email with your cartoons attached. It's really great. And I color my cartoons on the computer, which is really a help, too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
Mike
for having
Shapiro,
me.
it was great to have you. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
And now, back to the desk.